How's it going, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Right, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a stuffed crust mixed meat barbecue pizza. Yeah, I'll say that again. A mixed meat barbecue base pizza. So we'll be making our own barbecue sauce. This is a barbecue sauce that I make all the time. Trust me, it is fantastic. And also we'll be making our own pizza bread base. Now, it is far too easy, far too easy to go to your local supermarket and pick up a pizza for a quid, a couple of quid. There you go. £1 at Morrison's. So when I don't feel like cooking, I'll just go to the freezer, grab a pizza or whatever I fancy to eat. These days things are all so convenient. But do you know actually how to make a barbecue sauce or even bread? There's a lot of people out there that don't even know how to make bread. So when all these little things, these supermarkets and that, they close down and people don't know how to make sort of basic things, especially bread, to help them through. So yeah, I get it and I understand that, yeah, might as well go to Morrison's and just pick up a pizza for £1 instead of making your own. However, when you have made your own and you know how to make your own, it's a nice feeling. You know, it's good to know, especially making bread, because you can take this recipe and you can make your own baguettes, bread buns. There's so many different things you can do as a basis. But this is just something that I was doing today and I thought, you know what? Why not make it into a video? So that's what I'm going to do. So what will you need? Now for the barbecue sauce, I've got some Worcester sauce, a tin of chopped tomatoes, some mustard. You can use English mustard if you want to, that isn't a problem. Some black pepper, some honey. Now you can use brown sugar also if you wanted to, but I like the taste of honey. Some smoked paprika, some ginger, some lemon juice. You can also use lime juice if you wanted to. Some garlic granules, onion granules, and 2 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar. Now you can use apple cider vinegar if you wanted to. It's absolutely not a problem, and that is the base for our barbecue sauce. So we'll do the barbecue sauce first and then we'll come on to the bread. So basically what I've got here is a pint of flour, which equates to about 8 ounces of flour, a cup of milk, some salt, 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, and 3 teaspoons of sugar, and a pack of fast action yeast. So that'll be our bread. Now for the toppings, it's totally up to you what you do. I'm just doing a mixed meat barbecue base for this one. However, once you've got the bread base, you can pretty much put anything you want on there. It is totally up to you. But for this one, I've got some cooked ham, some chorizo, some salami, some pepperoni, and some mozzarella. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get the chopped tomatoes and put them through a blender and just make a basic puree. So I'll get that done, then we'll go over to the stove and start pouring this fantastic barbecue sauce together. So here we go. I got them chopped tomatoes, put them through the blender, so I've got a basic puree there. Next, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice. Now don't worry about this recipe too much, folks, as regards exact amounts, but as long as you're close, then you will get an absolutely fantastic fantastic barbecue sauce. I have made this so many times if I'm doing barbecue, grilled chicken or smoked ribs. This is the sauce that I use, and trust me, it is fantastic, if I don't say so myself. Okay, next, garlic granules. I'm going to put a teaspoon of garlic granules in there. Next, your Worcester sauce, and in there I'm going to put about 3 teaspoons of Worcester sauce, like so. Lovely. Next we're going to add the mustard, and that's going to be about 2.5–3 teaspoons of mustard. You can use the English mustard, by the way, if you wanted to, but do remember it's a lot stronger than the American style mustard. So put in about 2.5–3 teaspoons of mustard. Next, onion granules, a teaspoon of onion granules, like so. Some pepper, a teaspoon, like so. Smoked paprika, okay, a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And ginger, a teaspoon of ginger. There we go, fantastic. Your vinegar, pop that in. That's 2 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar. However, you can use the cider, apple cider vinegar if you wanted to. It's absolutely no problem at all. Now, honey. Now I'm going to use the rest of this because I know there's probably about 2 tablespoons of honey in there. So pop that in. So you've got that nice, that smoky flavour from the paprika. You've got the citrus background for the lemon juice, or lime juice, by the way, folks. If you want to use lime juice, it's absolutely no problem at all. And the sweetness of the honey. Now you can use brown sugar if you wanted to, so that would probably be around 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So make sure all that's out of there. Fantastic. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil. Keep mixing it, and then switch it off. Let it to cool, and that's your barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to give this a quick stir around. And the longer it cooks, the darker it will go. So yeah, that is your barbecue sauce. So I'll just let that come up to a boil. I'll switch it off, let it cool, and then it's ready to use on whatever you want. You can freeze this as well, so if you don't use all of it, you can put it into one of those plastic containers that your Chinese takeaway comes in. If you keep those, always useful to keep those, folks, by the way. And it will freeze until you're ready to use it again. That is not a problem whatsoever. So yeah, that is your barbecue sauce, and already that's starting to smell so good. Really nice, that proper barbecue smell coming off that now. Lovely. Okay, there you go. Okay, for the bread base, so in that pan I've added the milk, the sugar and the yeast. Now what I'm going to do now is just gently stir it until it's lukewarm. So I'll just keep popping my finger in there. Do excuse my finger. And what you're looking for, if you're parents, you'll know what I'm talking about. Baby bottle warm. Okay, so you can just feel the warmth coming through on the milk. If it's too much, you'll kill the yeast, so you really do need to keep checking it. So that's what you're after, just lukewarm. And what that will do will, especially with the sugar in there, it'll start to activate the yeast. The yeast will start feeding off the sugar, and then once you get to that lukewarm point, which is about there, doesn't take long, that's perfect. Leave it for about 10 minutes, and what you'll find is it'll start to go quite frothy, which means the yeast is really starting to feed off that sugar, which will make the bread rise a lot more. Now, you can just use water if you wish, but adding the milk, it makes the bread that little bit softer. So it is totally up to you what you want to do. In which case I would just add warm water with the yeast straight into your flour mixture. But doing it this way, I'm just going to leave it for 10 minutes just to let that yeast activate. Then we'll go back over onto the counter and start making that bread dough. The barbecue sauce there. Now, I'd love to taste it at this point, but I'm not going to dip my finger in there and try, because it would be like dipping my finger into a deep fat fryer. It just wouldn't end well for my digits. So yeah, I'm going to leave that for 10 minutes now, let the yeast activate, and then we'll get back over onto the counter and start making that bread dough. And just like that, we are back. So I've put the milk, yeast and sugar mixture into the bowl of flour, which was a pint of flour, and that roughly equates to about 8 ounces of flour. The oil's gone in there as well, and a teaspoon of salt. Now it's just bringing it all together. So this is the messy bit, and this will be your dough base. So just keep going until you get a really nice dough, which is quite, you press it, it's got that elastic texture to it, and that's what you're after. So just keep going and going and going until you reach that stage. It's the messy part, it's the fun bit, it's always the fun bit. Through the miracle of a little bit of editing, there is your dough. And as you can see what I mean? It's quite elastic in its texture, and that's perfect. So what we're going to do now is pop it in a bowl like so, cover it up and put it in a dark place for about an hour and 15 minutes. Now, I don't really want it to see it double in size, because we're not making bread. Well, we are making bread, but not a loaf of bread, if you know what I mean. So I just want the yeast to get a little bit of air in that dough for that nice thick base, because I do like a nice thick base on my pizza. I do indeed. So I'll go and cover that up, leave it for about an hour and 15 minutes, and we should be good to go on the next stage, i.e. the toppings. So let's do that. Okay, so here we are. So I've taken the dough out of the bowl, and I've just squashed some of the air out of the dough, and I'm going to continue doing that with the pin and make a sort of round shape, and it's not going to be perfect, but then again it doesn't have to be. And thin it out, because when it goes in the oven it will start to rise again naturally. So just a little bit more, and what I've got is a large metal tray. You know, your food trays, absolutely perfect for a pizza base. So what I'll do, I'll pop that onto there, and then we'll get onto the toppings. So let's just finish that off a little, just around the edges, like so. Brilliant. Not perfect, but then again, it really doesn't have to be. Okay, right then, let's get on to the fillings. I am all set up and ready. So let's do this. First of all, the stuffed crust. Easy to do, but quick tip, get yourself a small glass of water. And I'm going to get the mozzarella and just go on the outside of the base to make a little wall. All the way around. Like so. I shan't bore you. Ta-da! See, quick bit of editing. Okay, so you've got your wall of mozzarella there. Get yourself your water and just go on the inside of that wall all the way around, because this will help the dough to stick when you fold it over. Okay, so next, quite simply, just take the edges and just fold over and push down and go all the way around the edge of that pizza, like so, and just tuck it in, and that water will help the dough stay in place. So I'll just finish this up and we'll get to the toppings. It's good, isn't it? Are you ready for the fillings? Are you? Well, let's do that. Okay, so get your barbecue sauce. It smells absolutely beautiful, and I've tasted it and it is absolutely beautiful. It makes me want to do some smoked ribs, let me tell you. Okay, so let's get some sauce down onto that base. Like so. There we go. Fantastic. Now I've got some cheddar cheese there, so I'm just going to sprinkle some cheddar cheese over there, and what I will do for the final topping is a mix between the cheddar and the mozzarella. For the toppings, you can pretty much do what you like. Totally up to you. You are the master of your own pizza. I particularly like this one, all the different mixed meats. So, the ham, This is the easy bit, you see. You've done all the hard bit. If it's hard. Not really. It's good fun. And because I was making one, I thought, you know what, I might as well do a video. So there you go. Next we'll put on the salami. Talk amongst yourselves, by the way, people. Talk amongst yourselves. Then we'll do the spicy chorizo. And finally, the pepperoni. I do like pepperoni, very much so. I like the really spicy pepperoni, to be honest. Okay, lovely. And now I'm going to do a mix between the mozzarella and the cheddar. So put a bit of the cheddar on top of there, get my mozzarella. Now if you really wanted to, you could sprinkle some mixed herbs on the top of there if you wanted to. It is absolutely up to you. Makes it that little bit more presentable. In fact, shall we do that? Shall we make that little change and put a bit of mixed herb? Now I've got to go and find it first, so I've got to hunt around for my mixed herb. And there it is. And there it is. And there you have it. Your stuffed crust mixed meat pizza. And that will go in the oven now, 200 degrees, for about half an hour. And I will very much look forward to eating that. So yeah, when it's cooked, we'll take it out of the oven. You can have a good look. Fantastic. Okay, we're ready. Boom! There it is. Look at that. Oh yeah. Let's cut this up. We've got to do this. Let's cut this up. Yeah, in fact, no. Let's take this off this tray. And place it onto another, like so. Then let's cut through that crust and cut through that meat. The pepperoni, the salami, the chorizo, the ham, where that smells absolutely beautiful. Really good. So tasty. Let's do the last one. There we go. Oh yeah. But we're not done yet. Ta-da! And you've even got the washing machine in the background applauding, ready to take off. Check that out, absolutely fantastic. So if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, even better click subscribe, it would mean the world to me. But that is just a basic pizza. Lovely. Catch you later, folks.